So which firms out there will hire trainee mortgage brokers? Which ones should you be looking at if you are wanting to get employed? Now, there are a few out there. I've wrote a few down on my notes here to talk through with you, but we will just unpack them now and then, and go through it all. If you've got any questions you want to ask me about this, please chuck them in the comments here. You can also DM me, but please do chuck them in the comments. That's great. If you've got a question that you'd like and I can do a video on it, I'm more than happy to as well. Again, chuck that in the comments. Now, let's dive in to this one. So the first firm that's going to be out there, realistically, we talk about it all the time. It's always being mentioned. And that firm is Connells, okay? Or more specifically, Connells Group. So Connells Group is effectively the largest, I think anyway, the largest kind of mortgage property services business now in the UK. I could be wrong there, so don't quote me on that, but I think it's that. And you're going to see Connells, they own Countrywide. Under those, they own Sequence. And within those, there's other brands like William H. Brown. There's so much other stuff in there. But from a perspective of Connells, we're going to look at these as the estate agency-based mortgage broker businesses and roles. They are always hiring for new people, always. And you're going to see them all the time on things like Indeed, on, I think, Monster, if it still exists. I don't even know. The last time I checked and looked online for a job has been a long time ago now. But they are always advertising on these places, and they're always looking for it. Now, the churn on these companies are very, very high. They normally will pay for your training. They'll put you through CII, so they won't put you through CMAP. They'll put you through the other equivalent, which is fine. And they'll normally train you, and then they'll lock you in on what they call a training debt. I've got a whole video talking about Connells and my experience when I worked there. But they're pretty solid. They're good for training. They're really good to learn the role. There are, depending on certain people, questionable practices within it. Each branch is different though. Each branch is different. Very sales targeted, very, very sales environment, and very heavily on the estate agency side, but probably going to be the number one employer you're going to see out there. The second one you have then, which is still part of the actual Connells Group, but you're going to see these advertised a lot, which is what we call the New Homes Group. Now, the New Homes Group is part of Connells. They advertise all the time. Now, I'm going to say with this one, these people literally just specialize in new homes, nothing else. And it's quite important to point this out, it's a very high volume like thing. When you look at it, you're going to see all the time on their adverts how a lot of money. They'll say, there's really high OTEs, which is on target earnings, really high OTEs. However, and I will stress that, I've never worked in New Homes Group. I have worked for Connells I was an estate agency-based mortgage broker, but it is notoriously high churn at the New Homes Group. It's, from my understanding, baptism by fire. One of my friends, a few friends I have actually worked there. Most people I've actually had, some people I've coached as well, have been from there. Very few people make it through that. It's very, very hard. So the price looks really good. The OTE, which is the on-target earnings, looks really, really good. And you get cars and you get everything, but it is like brutally hard to do, and very few people make it through. Some people do, but from my experience talking to people, the issue with this is it could put you off the job completely if you think the job is always like that, because it's not. New homes is a whole different beast, but you will see that advertised, and it's normally the outlier, and every mortgage broker would be lying if they said they haven't hovered over the advert and gone, oh, maybe that could be me at one point, but it's normally, you'll see it at the top. It's the one that looks too good to be true. And I think it's true for the people who've got that kind of acumen to do well in it, but the vast majority of people burn out significantly and leave, which is important to know. The next one you have is, you're going to see other ones out there like L&C. There are other firms outside there, we'll talk about that in a second, but L&C, which is London and Country, it's the largest, or one of the largest, fee-free mortgage advice firms. And they are people you just on the phone, it's very, what's the word? Telephony. I can never get that word right. Sales. So you are literally on the phone, talk to them, go through, and they're the main ones. I, funnily enough, did my mortgage, not my most recent one, but like the one before. One before. I did it with L&C for one very specific reason. I couldn't do my own, and I didn't know anything about L&C. I know a lot about Connells. I know a bit about New Homes Group because I've got people I know in that, and I was like, I want to learn what L&C are like. And yeah, interesting. It's exactly what I thought. It was very impersonal, very stack 'em high, sell 'em cheap, as you'd expect. It's a fee-free advice with very little, if any, type of protection at the time for me anyway. But that's the nature of the business. That's the business model. Doesn't mean it's bad. Doesn't mean it's bad at all. Just means that's just the nature of it. And I have worked with people who are ex-L&C, and they do well. They just struggle with the concept of fees because they don't charge fees. London and Country, L&C, that's their whole shtick. They don't charge fees. So you will get that. Those jobs will appear. I can imagine they're going to be high volume, and high volume, probably not as high stress as a new homes group, but probably more stress than a estate agency one, I would say. I don't know, but I would probably say that. I think estate agency ones, they're different type of stress because you've got external pressures from estate agents who are unregulated, who tell you how to do your job when they don't even know how to do your job. They don't even know what your job is. So that's probably that one there. The other one then that you're going to get, you then will get what I class like independent firms. And every now and then you're going to get an independent firm that's looking to hire, looking to expand, looking to grow. Now, I went and worked for an independent firm, leaving Connells, and did this. So I can speak to this one firsthand. This is really an interesting one in that sometimes these can work very, very well, but they can also work quite badly because usually these smaller firms maybe don't have the infrastructure for training. They don't have the infrastructure in place for training. They don't have the infrastructure in place to dealing with new people. And so I went after being an actual experienced broker, and it was still hard then. I joined a independent financial planning firm. If I was a trainee joining that, I can imagine that would be brutal. It'd be brutal. Joining new independent firms as a trainee can be good, but I think it's real hit and miss on the firm and the individual running the firm and how they operate and how they think. So it's not easy. It's definitely not easy, and it's definitely not something that I would take lightly. So those are the kind of four main routes. There's many other routes out there. I'm sure if you've got other routes, put them in the comments. My honest take on a lot of them is I do prefer, and I'm quite unique in this, I do like the Connells estate agency-based route still while it's still available. It's the route I took. It's the route a lot of my clients I work with as a business coach now for mortgage brokers have taken. It teaches you how lots of aspects of the role fully. The only thing it doesn't really teach you is the whole of market access, which you will learn later on. But it does teach you how estate agency works, how sales works, how to be a broker, salary, sales, targets, all this stuff. And then it's really good then to go and on your own independently afterwards. So that's kind of where I sit on all of these. Those are the firms that will hire you. But the thing you have to look at is how do you get your first job? And I actually broke that down in the video I made recently, which is how you get that first job, how you land that first job. You want to check it out? I'll put it up on screen somewhere on here right now. All right.